In 2023, India's monsoon rain fell to 92% of its long-period average, a margin that devastated agriculture across the subcontinent. This dip triggered a brutal, prolonged dry period. It paralyzed a third of the nation, leaving reservoirs empty and crops failing under a relentless sun. Now, the Indian Meteorological Department is projecting an even steeper drop. This chart shows the 100% baseline, last year's 92% level, and the new forecast, a plunge down to 90%. This forecast signals the driest period India has faced in over a decade. It is the definitive marker of a massive El Niño, arriving to threaten the food security of over 1 billion people. This weather anomaly is hitting a global economy that is already struggling to maintain its footing. Man-made crises are compounding the natural threat. Ongoing geopolitical tensions between the US and Iran, paired with high global inflation, have left markets uniquely vulnerable to further shocks. These conflicts create immediate pressure for families by inflating global fuel prices. When energy costs rise, the price of transporting every essential good follows. El Niño acts as a multiplier for these pressures. By redistributing the world's water supply, it turns localized economic fractures into a continental disaster. To see how this system breaks, we have to look at the engine that controls weather for half the globe, the Pacific Ocean. In its normal state, warm winds blow westward across the Pacific. This movement pushes a massive pool of warm water away from the coast of South America toward Australia and Indonesia. As this engine operates, it gathers immense moisture from the Indian Ocean, forming the massive cloud clusters that define the region's climate. These formations move directly onto the Indian subcontinent, releasing the seasonal rains that the entire region relies on for survival. India's agricultural sector and the GDP it supports depends entirely on this precise sequence remaining unbroken. Every few years, the sequence fails. The water off the South American coast heats up to extreme levels, stalling the cycle. This intense heat causes the reliable westbound winds to weaken or even reverse direction. Instead of moving moisture toward Asia, the system pulls it back toward the east. El Niño doesn't destroy the rain, it makes the timing and location of that rain erratic. The reliable monsoon timeline falls apart, initiating a chain reaction that alters the weather for the most populated continent on Earth. In India, these scrambled wind patterns starve the ground of moisture, triggering a prolonged, devastating drought. Survival becomes a matter of engineering. The government must rely on massive irrigation networks and water diversions to keep crops alive when rains fail. But the water missing from India's monsoon is unceremoniously dumped elsewhere. This displaced moisture overwhelms China's waterways. The Yangtze River swells with extreme volume, leading to uncontrollable flooding throughout the autumn and winter months. A single temperature shift in the ocean simultaneously starves Indian agriculture while drowning Chinese infrastructure. When the world's two largest manufacturing engines are simultaneously hit by weather extremes, the global supply chains begin to fracture. This arrives while maritime trade and energy supplies are stretched to their limit by geopolitical conflict. We have no way to stop the centuries-old cycle of El Niño or redirect the wind patterns of the Pacific. Because the natural disaster is inevitable, de-escalating man-made fuel wars becomes the only available relief. Without that de-escalation, the entire global economy faces a period of extreme, compounded volatility that will be difficult to withstand.